You know, obviously we know a little bit about the brand, some high-profile people affiliated with the brands, and it looks like we just have there was recently an announcement of a new person who's coming on as a brand ambassador, and it looks like an investor as well.
As Chief Wellness Officer.
Chief Wellness Officer, okay.
She was already an ambassador. I mean, I'm sorry, an investor.
Okay.
Goes back a couple years and wanted to get more involved and active with the brand. She doesn't endorse just anything. It's got to be good for you. It's got to be something that's good to put in your body. And as she says, you can't get our stuff out of the tap. So she loves it. She's been fantastic. It was actually announced at the last BevNet in New York. So she's been great. And yeah, Mark and Sean, phenomenal. They're not paid endorsers. They're investors. They put millions and millions of dollars of their own money into the company. But what's changed in the last, call it 12 months, we're using those assets to a much greater degree. We're using them on point of sale. We're using them on sides of trucks and backs of trucks. You know, they go on sales calls for us and have made themselves very available, as has Jillian. So the combination of the three of them has been really good.
Now, what's your calculus for sort of turning up the volume on those kinds of connections with the brand?
Well, it's you've got to you got to think about the customer you're dealing with, because it's going to get customer specific. Certainly, all of them are very appealing to our distributors. To the whole network. You know, the more time they can get with them, or even a phone call or a note is great. But from a customer standpoint, it just depends on the customer base. You know, Mark and Sean are very appealing to males, and bringing Jillian in really rounded things out for us. You know, we went from under 50 million social media followers to upwards of 55, 56 million with her. She brings the whole female bent into it. It's got to be relevant for who they are, what they do. Example, Sean Combs just came off a 19-city bad boy tour, anniversary
I went to the
tour.
one in Boston. It was
Did
great.
you? It's great, right? So we were a sponsor of that, just as part of it. And it's up on the stage, and it's associated with him. Mark puts it in all of his movies. Boston Patriot will be coming out in the middle of December. We're all over that one. So it's those kinds of things. Jillian has other brands she endorses. She's connected us with them to do some joint marketing and some joint promotion.
The Aquahydrate experience has to be very different from the Coke experience that you brought.
I'll say.
Tell a little bit about these two lives and how this one's different.
Well, Coke was an amazing experience. You know, 30 good years. I worked really hard. I had lots of different jobs. I got to see all aspects of the business, from the bottling side to the company side. A lot of resources, rich in resources. You still had to be strategic about what you did, but there were a lot more people and financial resources at your disposal. In a startup or early stage company, it's a lot different, obviously. You know, even though we've got some wealthy investors, and Ukaipa companies are also an investor, it takes a lot of money to get going in this business. So you can't just throw people and money at problems. You got to be very selective, very strategic, and every decision really, really counts. I mean, it did at Coke as well. You wanted to make the right decisions more than you made wrong decisions. But here, you know, we always said at Coke, there's not a decision I could make that would take the company down. Well, here, there's a decision I can make that could take the company down if it's the wrong one.
And at the same time, at Coke, people seem to want to make the more conservative decisions. So knowing that there's more at risk, do you still find yourself trying to take the riskier path?
No doubt. I just feel like I have leeway, I have rope. They hired me because I've got a lot of experience and have dealt with a lot over all the years, and you know, I can rely on that experience. I've surrounded myself with very, very good people. So when
the best people,
they really are. And you know, there were a lot of good people here when I got here, and we've upgraded where we needed to. And when you've got that kind of team and you've got this kind of ownership, and you're competing in a category that is literally on fire with a great brand and a great product, it gives you a lot of confidence in making those decisions.
How much jockeying? How much jockeying for position is there in the space? I mean, are you guys selling as a set? Are you selling at the expense of each other?
There's a ton of jockeying. It's a matter of educating our customers, educating the consumer. If you look at the bottled water business, it's up about 7 or 8%. I'll call it regular water, the lower price, medium to low price is up around 5. Premium's up around 20, 22.
Because it's a much smaller portion of the category.
It's about 16% in total of the total category, but high pH is up close to 60. And it has been every quarter, so it's educating customers on the category, not just Aquahydrate, but there are 6 or 7, 8 really good, viable players, and it's about expanding that space and educating consumers through your point of sale, through consumer communication, through digital and social media. And as this category gets bigger, we're going to find ourselves, with more and more space, and that should be less of an issue.
And with bottled water companies, obviously you have a great, very clear product that people can understand. How important is the innovation, and where is that innovation sort of going to come from? Are you guys looking to go beyond water, or is it really sticking with that core product and sort of developing it through the people you mentioned, the brand endorsers, and sort of fueling it through that way?
Well, it's a couple of things. Yeah, our focus is clearly on the bottled water, premium bottled water segment, which, as you know, bottled water is going to be bigger than carbonated soft drinks by the end of 2017. We've barely scratched the surface. We're available in about 65,000 outlets. There are 450,000 outlets to go to. We're starting to expand beyond the traditional channels. We're doing a lot in the specialty world, fitness. We just got into the TJX companies at TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and Marshalls, which was key. And then through packaging, through package proliferation. We've got 5 packages today. We've got a couple on the horizon that we'll be announcing here shortly. And also, we had some distribution voids to fill in, and we got a major announcement to make over the next few days, actually.
Well, we can't wait for you to make it right now.
Can't make it right now.
There was a sort of brand platform moment for Aquahydrate. That's pulled back since, right? From the sort of sports waters and those kinds of products.
It's a combination of, we call it performance lifestyle, so it's both sides. But the performance aspect is still really key. We can't go out and make a bunch of crazy claims, but anybody you talk to that drinks this will tell you they feel better, they recover better, they perform better. So we know the combination of the electrolytes and the higher pH is a winner, and we're the only ones with that level of electrolytes and high pH on the market today.
How well do you think consumers are starting to distinguish between your Aquahydrates and your Cores and your Essentias and your Smart Waters? I mean, are they figuring it out, or are you still really pushing consumer education, or is it more just pushing execution?
Well, it's a combination. Education is so critical right now for us because people, don't totally understand, don't totally know why this one, versus another one. But again, given the social media reach that we have, digital reach, we can do a lot of this educating.
Right.
And it's through execution. You've got to be out there in their faces. When you're with a Coca-Cola and it's time to promote 12 packs, you build a 500 case 12 pack display. For us, if we can get a rack of 4 cases in front of people, the business goes up 5-fold. It really does. But fighting for that space is tough, and the execution is tough.
Well, it looks like we're out of time here, but it's been fabulous having you on here with us.
Thank you, guys. I
Make sure to give
appreciate
us a
it.
ring with the big announcement.
I will.
when
You'll be
that
the
comes.
first to know.
All right, excellent.
Good luck with the street
Great. Thanks
fight,
so much,
Al.
Al.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
And I think that's going to knock off the Livestream Lounge lunch portion.